This is
This is
Stitching the
so
Miles Together.
cool.
I know, I'm super excited. So welcome to Stitching the Miles Together. I'm Heather from Heather Spins a Yarn, and this is my best yarny friend, Nicole from Know It All Nikki. We are coming together. We are coming together. We are here today on, actually, we're on the Heather Spins a Yarn channel. You will probably be able to see this on the Stitching the Miles Together YouTube channel, but we are two yarny BFFs that live 4,000 miles apart. And so we stitch that big gap between us with our love of yarn and writing and all sorts of other nerdy fun things. I don't know, whatever makes our hearts sing.
Crafty
Today,
crap.
it is a cup of coffee. So I am Heather Spins a Yarn pretty much everywhere you can find me except for Facebook. Oh, you can still find me on Facebook. I'm just not there.
I mean, you can go there.
You can go
Nothing's
there.
going to happen.
The illusion that I'm there.
Heather's not going to answer you. Oh, crap. I forgot to end fasting. Okay, you do the things.
Do the things. All right. So you can find me at heatherspinsyarn.com, Heather Spins a Yarn on YouTube, where we are right now. So gosh, I'm not used to going live straight to YouTube. This is a fun new day. You might have seen my little test and that I can't figure out how to delete because I was just ridiculously excited. My co-host is Nicole from Know It All Nikki. She is pretty much Know It All Nikki everywhere. Well, last week they needed a potty break. This week they needed something else. We do have a viewer. And so
it's probably me because I opened it. I opened it just to see. Yeah.
How does it look? It probably is because I was me last time. So yeah. So we are just ridiculously excited because last time the podcast is live on the Stitching the Miles Together channel, but it's in two parts. And we talked about stitching the weather together because we had to take a break last time because the
dogs needed to go potty.
The dogs need to go potty. They did not listen when their mama said they needed to piddle before class. Yeah. And she made her way into the room and there was no, I felt horrible. Like she's like, no, we're trying to push through. But after about 60 seconds, we're like, no, you got to take that dog out. She's going to pee on the floor.
Yeah. It was going to be bad. So bad. So, well, do you want me to, I mean, not that they don't know who I am now, but my introduction? Do you want me to introduce myself?
You're like, just introduce all the things. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I'm just, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you introduced me, but I'm Know It All Nikki. That's where I am. That's where I am everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ooh, Post, which no longer has a waiting list. I haven't used it, but I'm there.
Okay, so I am on Post too. I only followed you. You told me about it. You said there was a waiting list, so I got in on it so I could get in. And the next day they let me in.
Yeah, great. Like I said, I think the waiting list was a whole lot of malarkey.
My concern with Post was the stuff that I was just seeing in my feed was a little crazy town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have to curate.
So I'm like, are these the people that I want to? So I'm going to dive in a little more. But if you guys are on Post, let us know down in the comments whether it's... Yes. Oh, and also, if you are watching, please hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button helps us do lots of really awesome things for you and lets us know that we're doing, and YouTube, they lets YouTube and us know that we're doing a good job and you are happy with what is going on. And now I am getting into so what are you drinking today? We know I'm drinking coffee.
I have water and I also have my chai, which I turn my mug around here. You can see what it says.
I can't because the light is hitting it just right. Is that the chaos coordinator? Oh, I remember when you, I don't know if I remember you telling me you got that mug. I don't know if I actually know that you got that, like I've seen it, but mine is just, mine's just this isn't even my cup. Well, for those of you who don't know, I live on an island in Ohio in Lake Erie called Put-in-Bay or South Bass Island. And in the wintertime, we move where we live. My husband's family has had a house or a 3-season cottage. It was originally a fishing cottage that they built in like 1952. And we live in Northern Ohio and it is very cold and that thing is built for 3 seasons and 3 seasons and sometimes is a stretch. So
are you guys gonna do the things to get it 4 seasons, or is that an up in the air conversation for later?
That's really an up in the air conversation. Ideally, that would be great, but our driveway is a quarter mile long and we don't have a car plow. So, like, this year has been pretty mild. I mean, we've had stuff, but we've had melting in between. So, we've been able to get to the house and stuff. And you've been
Right.
down my driveway. It's a quarter mile of woods well, the last little bit is not because you pull out, but it's all woods. So, we get a lot of down trees. We spend probably in the springtime when we move, we probably spend probably 8 hours like over the course of the spring, like removing dead trees from the driveway and stuff like that.
I'd
So,
say it's actually longer than that, but it depends on the winter.
oh yeah, no, I mean like just 8 hours that he has to clean up tree like debris and stuff. Is what I'm saying. Like over the course of the spring, like when trees, because that's when you get a lot of tree falling is in the spring when the
Right,
ground is really wet and not frozen anymore, and then they just timber right over.
right.
Um, some years are worse than others. 2 years ago was an especially bad year, so we didn't. It was just not. It was not good. So, but like it would take a lot. Like we would need to do all new windows. We would need to do like all insulation. We would have to like because it's up. So I mean, quite honestly, this the condo that we live in a condo, and the
In the winter.
in the wintertime. Yeah, we move in November and we move out. This year we're going to move out in March because they're going to do some renovations in the condo. But it's it's more cost effective for us to live here, even if we did
Yeah.
all the things and made that more energy efficient. It's still plus I am like a minute from work. I mean, I could walk to work if I had to. It's really nice because Jeremy goes like I'll up when I go to work in the morning, he doesn't take me, but when he's ready to go and do whatever and he needs the car, he walks up to the station because it's like a less than a 5 minute walk, and then he hops in and grabs
There
the
you
car and
go.
we leave. So
Theoretically, if it's nice out, you could ride your bike.
um
No.
yes, anywhere on the island. My husband rides his motorcycle most of the year. I don't ride my bike though. He doesn't like me to ride my bike or to walk because of just it's just my hypermobility issues.
Gotcha.
He doesn't like when things go out of place, and the older I get, the
Well,
more often my hip and my SI joint decide that they're not going to stay where
if
they
you ever
are.
decide to get rid of that bike, I know a gal.
Well, I like my bike.
You're
I'm
not
just not
even
riding the
looking. You didn't
what?
even see. I said,
Oh,
"I know a gal," and then I went,
I
"Wasted."
love my bike. I know it is wasted. I'm sorry. I put my coffee down. All right. So what are you working
Alright,
on today while we're on the show?
I am finally starting on a front panel.
That thing looks like a different color gray every time I see it. And I've seen it. I know what it looks like. You've showed the yarn. I mean, like
I
that's
know.
looking a little bit lighter gray than the other one. That one's darker. But you got the ribbon done.
Yes. Well, no, I'm not completely done. I have to forget how long I have to, oh, knit. No, how okay.
I mean, I could look it up on my thing.
No.
All right,
Oh, I might actually be done.
it looks like you are. Compare it with
So
do you have your back panel there?
1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I knit just 4.
Okay. So what I would like you to do though, before you change to because this is just all garter stitch, right?
Yeah,
So before you change over, I mean, you probably don't have the other panel with you, do you, in that
not
room?
in here, no.
Okay.
The
My
backside, no.
concern is, well, if you have another ball of that yarn, you could always cast on for that and put that on a lifeline. My concern is that you want you want to make sure that you put the right amount of ribbing. But if you're following the pattern and you followed the pattern before, then, you probably don't have
Right.
anything to worry about. So
Well,
let's see here.
but
Two.
it's a you know what, honestly, I don't know if I've followed the pattern before because I like ribbing and it's fun.
Oh, Beth says hi. Hi, Nikki and Heather. Hello,
There, I
Beth.
see it.
Did you? Oh, you see it?
Hi!
Yay!
I can see
We
it. Hi, Beth. Oh my God, I've missed you. Here, I'm looking at the words, not the actual screen. Like her words can see
yeah,
me currently instead of the camera.
I see.
Forget
So
me.
it's all
Forget me.
good.
I don't know what
Well,
I'm doing.
this is a whole new world because when we have when we the podcast has been going on now for a few years,
Mhm.
and
Off and
every
on, COVID permitting.
every platform that we have used, I have been the producer of the show. It doesn't allow the guests to see everything that's going on backstage, and so I talk about backstage, and Nicole's like, I don't know what the crap you're talking about. So this is fun because she's seeing everything that I see.
Backstage.
So far, Restream, 5 out of 5 fingers.
5 out of 5.
All right. So during the podcast today, I am Ariel, if you are watching, look away.
Look away, Ariel.
Look away, Ariel. Don't
Not
watch right now. I'll tell you when you can look again.
Okay.
So I'm making this. She knows I'm making him close. So I can. Do I have?
Oh,
I don't have the blanket.
plus
What?
bucket.
What's the matter?
I just stabbed myself with my
Needle.
sharp scissors.
Oh, with your sharp scissors. Great.
This guy.
No, they'll just the stork scissors.
Or stork. He looks more like a sandhill crane to me, to be honest. But
I know, but they call them stork scissors. I don't really know why.
Well, Alaska prefers to call them sandhill cranes, and you are in deep doo-doo if you call them anything else. No joke. No, I'm trying to cut. Okay, so while you're looking, I bought this hat.
Go ahead.
I bought this hat. It's adorable. And I bought it. I bought it because I was sitting in the drugstore parking lot and my car was not going anywhere because it was dead and I was waiting on my husband.
Oh, that's super pretty. I love that. That's really pretty. I like the design.
And I bought it because it's got fleece.
Oh, I love fleece lined. Yeah.
Here's the problem.
It's very snug.
It's too small for my head. It's like my eyebrows move and the whole thing goes whoop.
Oh, well, the fleece
and even if
is it the fleece that's keeping it tight or is it the stitching? I'm going to guess it's the fleece.
I'm going to go, I mean, it could be both, but yeah, I think when they added the fleece in, they didn't take into account the bulk that the fleece would add.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a child to give it to currently because I don't have any with me. So I might send it up to my daughter and have her give it to Relly, the little girl that she nannies. But here's the thing, unless of course I decide not to do that and I just rip it apart. But right now, I want this guy.
And take it off.
I want this little guy because the dog ate the other one off of mine.
I would just deconstruct the hat. I mean, quite honestly, but so Ariel, don't look if you're watching. I know you're not watching, but when you watch the replay, because I know you watch all of your mama's things. I mean, who doesn't? All right, so these are so those are what the overalls will look like when they're all done.
I love those. Those are so cute.
These are called the high-waisted baby overalls by Lady from the North. Don't look that up, Ariel. So this is the same color I'm making his blanket out of. So here you go. Look at these. Isn't it?
Now see, that looks like a different color than last time to me.
Yeah, it does. This is pretty much, this one's looking very flat because it's more of a heathered, like there's but it's definitely looking flat. But yeah, so I have like another half inch, and then I have to do like the buttonholes, and then I have to do, so these ones will probably be done, I don't know, because instead of working on all these projects that I have to work on, I have been building up my island. I mean, well worth it. I'm sure you agree.
And when you say island, you mean?
Oh, I mean Animal Crossing, Blooming Isle. Don't worry, there'll be tourism videos coming soon.
Oh my God, I got to go on a tour last night. It was so awesome.
You audibly gasped. I was so excited because your reaction was the exact same thing as Vivian's. And Vivian has only seen the diner. She has not seen the whole rest of it.
We're excited. I mean, Vivian and I, we are excited to figure out how I'm going to deconstruct this with the fleece. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rip the stitching out. Yeah, I can help you with that. That'll be fun. Cool. So that's currently what I am working. This is what I'm going to work on today. So yeah, so let's see. I'm going to kind of keep us, and thank you, BFFs. It's so adorable. So apparently, aside from our love of yarn, we love to pop out our youngest children the last week of January.
I
And in
mean,
December, because my daughter and a bunch of like most of our children are all in this December to January span
mhm.
going on because not like it wasn't fun and fun filled enough. And also our anniversaries are in February, so apparently we have a thing for winter.
Yeah.
I don't really
So
know.
glad that shop is closed. 7-Eleven out of business.
Yes. So much yes. I
So much.
remember it was, oh gosh, so it was probably about 8 years. You probably remember this. When I started, I got my big time office job, and I was the admin assistant, and I had a
Yep.
pregnancy scare, and I was like, I can't be pregnant. I actually have a life. Like I was like freaking out, and I felt so horrible. But I'm like, now I know why people think this way because before it's like, oh, babies are a blessing, blah blah blah. But I was like crying to her, and she's like, you're probably not pregnant. Just take a damn test. Probably the stress of your new job. And it was me syncing up my cycles with my boss. That was really kind of weird. I don't like bodies. Um, but
I think bodies are so awesome. Like if I can get medical and nerdy, I'm in
I
there.
I do enjoy it. Like I said, especially if I can pop some stuff into a spreadsheet. Woo.
Heather needs a
This
spread.
week, that spread. Oh gosh, I need to get that mug. Nicole sent me a picture of a mug one time, and it said I'm a freak in the sheets, and it was an Excel sheet, and I was like, yes, yes, I
That
am.
yeah, they were talking about Heather.
I had a client that reached out to me this week, and I'll admit she's like their accounts payable person, and she's really good at her job, but that's like the only job she has at this big company, and I wear a
Mhm.
lot of hats, and so she likes to try to call me in her downtime, which only happens to be some of our busiest times. And so I was always like, I didn't really like dealing with her. But this week when she sent me an email, and it was within, hi, I hope you're doing well, and I worked this out in Excel on my spreadsheet, and I was like, oh, she's my new favorite. I really hope she doesn't like yarn. I've already told Nicole about her.
Damn it. You know, I can't pick up anything today without finding something wrong. I'm
What's wrong?
working this. This
Oh,
is
the
my
big
throw
blanket?
blanket
Yeah.
from
Forever.
2010-ish, the early
Yeah, that sounds about right.
2000s.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right.
Um, apparently I dropped a stitch.
So you don't, if you don't want to pick it up now, just clip a stitch marker on there.
Yeah, but
A
I
Locky
don't
stitch
wanna.
marker. That's what I like to do. Just clip. Yeah, and then you can just fix it later. Because then you can just keep on and I know, grump it
I
on
think
up.
I dropped 2 stitches, actually. No, I dropped 2 stitches in a row.
So,
Damn it,
well,
Heather.
sorry. So,
Damn it.
so we're
All
gonna
the
wish our
better.
children a happy birthday. Errol's is today.
Noah's was Monday, and Ethan's was at the very beginning of the 3rd. And we were really kind of hoping he would be a New Year's baby because, first baby of the new year, all that good stuff. But that's a lot of pressure on a baby.
It
So,
was.
and he refused, just kind of like his personality. Um, he's like, I'm not doing what you're telling me. I'm not coming out. And that's exactly what yeah. So Ethan was the 3rd, Noah the 23rd. Noah is the only one that came. Well, Noah and Brianna were the only ones that came as close to their actual due dates. Um, but yeah.
Errol was
So
due on the 11th of January.
so is CJ. That
He,
didn't work out.
yeah, he came super early. Alexis was due on October 24th. Yeah, yeah.
Man, that doctor did not know how to count.
Once we got, because I walked around from October 18th until I had her and was induced in December on the 9th. I walked around 4 centimeters dilated and 90% effaced. My first due date was October 31st. So he kept saying it was anytime. And once we got past it, he kept asking me, do you feel farther along than you are? This is
Yeah,
why we're paying
let me put a
you.
hand up there and figure it out.
So yeah. So I'm very thankful because once we got, I was going in each week for a non-stress test, and finally the one nurse was like, "Honey, weren't you due in October?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but he keeps thinking my due date's pushed around a little bit." And she was like, "You're coming in for an induction. I'm just gonna tell him He told me to do it. Okay. The first induction date they canceled because there was a really bad car accident on 90. And
Mm-hmm.
so they didn't have any extra hands on deck from to come to help. So
Right.
so they pushed it to like the 9th. And I didn't want to have it on the 9th. I didn't want to have my baby on the 9th because that was the day that my grandma had passed away a couple years earlier.
Yeah.
It was my younger sister's birthday, one of them, because I have a million siblings. But
Right.
that didn't matter. Lexus was born when she was born, and it's all good, 5.5 weeks late. But they did tell me after she was born, oh, we're really glad that the doctor told me, oh, I'm really glad that we decided to induce today because I don't know that she would have made it through the weekend. Right?
Did you have a different? Oh yeah, you did have a different
Oh, I
doctor.
did have a different. I will tell everyone in the world. This doctor's now retired, but I would tell everyone in the world not to go to him. My mom had me. My mom liked him, and he wasn't bad, but he delivered me. That's how old he was. Like,
Yeah.
granted,
Yeah.
I was 17 when I had Alexis, so you can practice for a while, but I mean, like, he was still practicing not that long ago, and I was like, oh no, none of us are going there because I never want to hear, do you feel farther along than you are? Like, he was slightly concerned when I ended up with Bell's palsy because they thought I had a stroke, and then when he realized it wasn't a stroke, he was like, whatever, it's fine. So. Um, so talk
Sometimes.
about birthdays and stuff like that, and especially with our kids and the holidays and stuff like that. Are there any kind of special like like a birthday tradition that you do that maybe like someone else doesn't do, or something that like just something that you do or did for the kids? It doesn't necessarily have to be now, 'cause with most of them being adults, adult birthdays are trickier.
Well, the funny thing is that in my husband's family, it is a tradition to make German chocolate cake,
I do
and
remember
it
that.
and it got to be that their poor grandma, my husband's grandmother, it was like she was making German chocolate cake every time she turned around. Um, so they started lumping birthdays together, like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter.
I've
Um,
had other people I've known, but it was just a sheet cake that they'd get from like Costco or something. So grandma is smart. Grandma's wise.
and then but it would still be German chocolate cake. It would not be, a sheet cake. It would be round and 3 layers and fabulous. Well,
You gotta go through Nicole's Instagram feed. There's at least a couple German chocolate cake
oh,
pictures.
there's always a cake or two in there.
Oh yeah.
Um, so when my husband and I started dating, it was long distance. He was in the Navy. And I think it was his aunt or his cousin who said to me, if you're going to be a part of the family, you're going to need to learn how to make the family cake for his birthday. And I was like, huh? And that was the first time I'd ever made German chocolate cake.
You make
And
everything from scratch, don't you?
yes, well, I mean,
Or do you do the front?
I do the frosting, but the recipe really
Mm-hmm.
does come off of the back of the German chocolate um,
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I've tweaked some a little bit, and that's mostly the frosting,
Okay.
and it kind of depends on who likes more coconut and who likes more nuts.
Okay.
So I know that somebody like my husband, he likes more coconut, so he gets
So
a little more
you change
coconut.
the frosting based on who's getting the cake? Like who's That's awesome.
Yeah. So um
That is
and I
awesome.
even no wait, no wait, no wait. Um so we made a cake, his cousin and I made a cake. We wrapped it. Actually we stuck it in his aunt's freezer for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then we shipped it to him because he was down in Florida.
Nice.
And so we had, one of those styrofoam kind of like shipping things. They didn't
Mhm.
have all the cool stuff they have now. But yeah, that's how we shipped it. And I think he said he was lucky that he got one piece
Oh my
of it,
God. He
right?
shared. Good for him.
Yeah. So there's only been a few years that I have not made a German chocolate cake for him. And that was years that he was either like, no, I don't want a cake, or I was just plain up pissed. Um, So
Why don't I have a cake? I don't know. Why don't you have a cake? You remember?
you told me you didn't want anything. That includes a cake. Um, but the kids, when they were little, they were okay to eat the cake. They didn't like the frosting. So I'm not going to make German chocolate cakes for them. So their cakes were always, chocolate themed. My dad actually drew the artwork on a couple of them, one for my daughter, because my dad is an amazing artist. Yeah, and then my mom would help me frost them. Now, once the kids got old enough, like say between 11 and 13,
Mhm.
they got to decide what kind of cake they wanted. And I'm pretty sure every single one of them, except for the youngest, has said German chocolate. Now, this last year, with my oldest, um, I asked him, and at first he was kind of like, no, he doesn't live with us anymore. He has his own place. And I was like, well, tell me now or forever hold your peace. So he said yes. Um, and so we had cake right around Christmas time. I would think we
Okay.
actually had it on Christmas because of his work schedule. Now he got
Okay.
to take the cake with him because when you don't live at home anymore, you get to take your birthday cake when you leave.
This is a novel idea.
My middle son, whose birthday isn't until the 3rd of January, he didn't
Mhm.
realize this. He thought we were going to have some cake around the house, leftover, and so he told me he didn't want one. By the time he did tell me, we are in a huge egg shortage where people are taking each other out in the street to get the last dozen. So it took me a little bit to, his was a little late.
Right.
But when we did my oldest, his friend, who I've kind of adopted, he's another one of ours now. He belongs to me, whether he wants to or not. I did all 3 layers of German chocolate, but
Okay.
I made one layer plain with like a buttercream frosting. I
Okay.
think it was just chocolate buttercream frosting. Um, but anyways, it was a chocolate frosting because he is allergic to coconut.
Oh gosh, that would be bad.
So I was like, "So wait, you've never had it?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, "We cannot let this be." So for
Right.
Christmas, he actually got his own German chocolate cake with chocolate frosting.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, yeah. I'm mom. My daughter, however, she's out of luck. She wants a German chocolate cake. She's going to have to make it herself in Ohio or teach her fiance how to do it.
I see. Just
I'm not
send me the
shipping one.
recipe. We can make one. I'll try it. I'll make Jeremy make it because you know Jeremy likes to make cake.
I'm not trying to ship a German chocolate cake
I'm
from Alaska
saying
to
you give
Ohio
me the recipe.
in
I'll make
August.
Jeremy make it, and then I'll deliver it to her door on her
I don't
birthday.
know if she can eat it though now because of some of her
Oh.
issues with the butter, and
All right. Well, Brianna, if you're watching, you need to
let
tell your
Heather
mom.
know.
Let us know if you want a cake because I will deliver it to you on your birthday. Because I can get off the island then. I mean, I can now,
I
but it's a lot more expensive. And while I love you, I don't love you that much.
understand. Um, I think I did make her something when she was here. The last time she was here or the time before, and we used plant butter, and she couldn't even tell a difference.
Nice, nice.
So, but anyways, yes.
So that's your birthday
Tradition
tradition?
tradition is German chocolate cake. Now nobody makes me one.
We did talk about that. We have before you and I personally, not like on the show. Would you like a German chocolate cake?
I mean, yeah, but I don't like to share, so
Well,
people in my house might be as well. Now, last time my husband made me a cake, it was like a strawberry shortcake, and it literally had like the layers of strawberries and everything else in the middle.
yeah.
And my cat got into it and tried to eat all of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I can't blame her. Strawberries are great, but
Whatever.
I know you. Yeah, you don't like
I
strawberries.
dislike strawberries. Tony, this morning we were talking and he was like, oh, because I was telling him about how, oh, I get to eat rice pudding when we get done with this because I haven't eaten my rice pudding today. When I, because well, I went to mainland on Tuesday. I had to fly over. Actually, I'm gonna have a video of that on the channel here soon. Just like a little how to, what you
Little
have to do
modified.
here on an island. So yeah, we have to go over. It's a 5-minute plane ride, but I had to go over because for those of you who don't know, I manage the gas station on Put in Bay, and I had to all of our scratch off tickets had like they were coming up because you're allowed to sell scratch offs for like 65 days, and then after 65 days you have to settle up with the Ohio Lottery. Well, we got all the stuff in November, and so
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff was done and we couldn't be without scratch offs. And at first the lady from the lottery was like, well, when are you planning to come off next? Like I don't come off the island unless I need to. So the next time I'm coming off the island that I'm planning for is when my grandson is going to be born. And
Right.
I'm sorry, my daughter lives an hour away from the boat. So I don't want to have to worry about going back and forth. Like that's my time. I mean, I'm still going to be working remotely for some stuff that I need to help them with, but I don't want to be running
No.
tickets over and sending stuff over and going back. Cause you have to there's like a whole process of things that I have to do. And
Right.
so we just decided we had a deposit that we needed to make. No one was going off for a few days. And then I could replenish stuff at the store for the store, like stuff that
Right.
it was cheaper for me to just go off and get it and bring it back. So
Right.
we did all this stuff and my brain seized up as to where I was going with that whole point there. And I don't even remember. We're talking about that. Oh, because then I got snacks so I could eat and I could do all things. And I still don't even think that's the point I was making. Since I've had this migraine, or it's not, I don't have it anymore. I'm still feeling the
Right.
residual effects. It's really fun because the train derails real often with me anyways.
And
But
I'm not any help.
no, you're never any help with that.
No,
We
I'm
get
never.
lost together. We're like the blind leading the blind,
We don't put us someplace we don't know. Um,
I'm okay
no,
with
we
that,
were
but
talking about,
well, like birthday
um,
traditions and stuff, but that's not so
yeah,
yeah, so I got to go to mainland and I'm sure that it'll come to me. I'll interrupt you like
Beth,
I
if you're
famous.
still watching, please remind Heather what she was talking about.
Yes. But my
We'll come
birthday
back.
the birthday traditions that like I do cuz I don't my kids I we didn't we didn't celebrate my birthday very often when I was a child. I know that my one stepbrother's birthday everyone celebrated because he was very vocal about telling you it was his birthday for like the month leading up to it, and his birthday was in June. My birthday's at the end of May. My birthday fell on Memorial Day weekend a lot, and we were very poor, and so sometimes my parents would forget my birthday. That was always fun.
Oh,
My mom told me about later. I remember the one time it was June and I didn't say anything. And my dad was like, no, Larry, your birthday's not next week because we haven't celebrated Heather's birthday. Well, no, you didn't celebrate Heather's birthday, but Heather's birthday came and went. So I got a bike. They took me to Toys R Us and I got to pick out a 10-speed. It was really cool. I'm talking to my mother about this, like, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And
mhm.
she was like, oh, well, we were planning on getting you a bike that year anyways. Like, really? Thank you. Thank you for making me feel awesome.
I feel like that could have been something she could have kept to herself. So even
Right?
grown-up
Right.
Heather could have reveled in her childhood birthday gift.
Right? Like it was one of my best birthdays. And now it's like, oh, well, I was
Mhm.
probably going to get that anyways. It was cool. It was a black Huffy 10-speed bicycle that was like the real thin tired ones and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like it had hot pink, like the handles. And I loved that bike. I don't even know what happened to that bike. I rode it until it like died. Cause I think I took it when we were I think it really did. It literally fell apart. I rode that thing till it fell apart.
Oh my.
But big groups of people stress me out. Inviting
Right.
people in my home stressed me out. Now, when the kids were little, because we didn't have a lot of money, I would whatever character they were into, we would have a cake, but I would do like, and I would get like maybe like party hat, like one thing that had the character on it.
Yes, same. I didn't go all out with like I didn't go all out with like the whole gift bags for everybody and the, hats and streamers and little noisemakers and plates and cups and
I did
napkins. I picked a couple things
well,
and that was it.
what I did was I would do the invitations were normally like the theme for the kids. If the kids were having, I would get the themed invitation cards. And then I would get like something for it because we did do gift bags and stuff. But what was really nice was one of the she's basically like one of my extra moms, my one friend. She they had like a balloon company, and so she was always collecting like little things that we get samples, so she would give me a lot of like trinkets and stuff, and I would pick up stuff throughout the year just like for like a little tiny whatever, but most of the time it was a craft. They did something like, but I would get not cardboard, poster board, and I would make like a big pin the tail on whatever. Like I remember Alex had a Lion King birthday one year. Errol had a Care Bear party one year, and it was like, whatever, like, we did the belly. I would draw it because these things would hang in their room. And then I would do like pieces of paper too that I would get like frames from the dollar store. And we would put them all over the house. And then they would take those frames and then we would hang them up in their room and stuff like that. Cause cause it was, I can draw anything if you show me a picture of it. So it was always fun to do that part of it. But as they got older, it was really hard to like coordinate stuff. And I really would freak out around their birthday times. I would panic because for a long time, I had my daughter, my oldest, when I was 17 years old, and I didn't really have a good sense of who I was. And so I went from being Heather, the kid, to Heather, the mom. And I never found out who Heather actually was, and I'm learning who that person is now. And you are too. We're kind of on this journey together.
I can relate to that. I had Cody right before I turned 21, but still there was that Amanda. Hi.
Hey, Amanda.
So I still have that. I can relate to that in that not having a great sense of who I was.
Well, it would bring me great panic. Like I would have panic attacks and get very depressed before the kid's birthday because like they're getting older. They're going to leave me. What am I going to do with my life? Who am I without these children?
And now look at you.
Right. I'm finding myself in my 40s. Sometimes I get a little claustrophobic with the space that I'm taking up, but I'm getting so much better. Like that smile, I had her take my picture because Amanda actually on my most recent Instagram post, Amanda took that picture of me. She took my crochet class at the library, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Nice.
And
that's an awesome picture of you.
And that was after that was 5:30. I had been there since 3. So you know how I am. You know how I look when I'm doing stuff. So that was just sheer joy. Like I'm being able to I love how you're smiling. Like my husband smiles the same way at me. Like he's just so everyone's so excited that I'm finding myself. Like, oh look, there you are. We all saw you. I'm glad you finally are too.
How many I want to know how many cups of coffee in were you by then?
Yesterday or on Tuesday for that was I drank my 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
Really?
That's all I had. And then I had coffee afterwards.
Heather?
Huh?
Who is this Heather? And what have you done with her? What have you done to her?
I don't know. She's loving life. She's very excited about all the things, and people are really excited. I got such good feedback from the class, and then I got more good feedback from the second class because I did 2 classes. But to go back to the birthdays, so one of the things that I did to help my kids, because I knew it was it was rough. Nobody, yeah, sure, I'm really happy birthday. And Jeremy works so much and stuff. So what I did was, and I didn't come up with this idea by myself. Someone else did. When Alexis turned 13, I think 12 or 13, because that's when I really started freaking out. So I made up a hashtag each year for them called Celebrating Whatever Year. And I got them that many gifts. Now, sometimes it was stuff that was broken apart. I collected all year long. So you got however many presents you were old, that's what you got. Now, they aren't going to be all awesome things. It'd be I bought a 5-pack of lip balms and I broke each one of them apart. And so each one of those was a present. So they got all these presents that they got to open up throughout the day. So, and then, but it ended
That's
on 18.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, I don't want to." Somebody's like, "Oh, I can't go to your house." You're like, "You're spoiling your children." Like, no, we weren't a big gift giving family, and both of the girls' birthdays being especially Alexis before Christmas, but even Ariel in January. A lot of people would be like, I saw this meme at Christmas time, and it was so funny. It was the nativity scene, and the 3 wise men were presenting their gifts, and the second wise man had a speech bubble over his head, and he was telling Mary and Joseph, "This is for his birthday and Christmas." And it's like, well, why don't you just give
Not
everybody's gifts
Christmas.
out like that? Like, my birthday's in May. Why am I not getting my birthday and Christmas present like at Christmas? Like, like that's so.
So
Oh,
I
thanks,
felt
Amanda.
you are a great teacher. So I felt terrible because we were actually not able to do Cody's birthday on his birthday or close to it, that literally we were having cake and everything on Christmas. Because I had that hard and fast rule when he was growing up. I don't want it wrapped in Christmas paper if it's for his birthday, and I don't want it wrapped in birthday paper if it's for Christmas.
And she does not, she also doesn't, she doesn't decorate her house. Like, she is very strict. We were talking about this, not like, because if we pan over here, there you go. That'll stay up until March because I know I get very sad in the wintertime. And so I need the bright twinkly lights. And so I
Right.
always keep a tree up. Sometimes year round, this will come down, I always, but it's fun and it's Simpsons and stuff we love. We're actually I'm going to make different ones, but you are very like strict with your like, the Christmas decorations don't go up until after CJ's birthday. They come down before Ethan's birthday. And I was just like, although it did help me discern which child's birthday it was the other day, because you told me she
You're
had
welcome.
told her son that she wanted help taking Christmas decorations down, or told the whole house. And so her son's birthday that was coming up, like she woke up like the next day and I have a voice message from
Well,
her.
after Christmas. I
Everything is
don't take it
gone.
down that early.
Everything
He's
is gone. And he's like,
undecorated.
he goes, I thought you wanted it down before New Year. And you're like, I do, but
I mean, the 30th? Hell, the 31st. As long as we chuck that thing out the door before midnight on the 1st, I'm happy.
yes, because she doesn't want to take baggage into the new year. So I asked her how that was going for her, and she told me to shut up.
I'm still telling you to shut up. And now this time I'm right. And you know why I'm right. You want to know why I'm having the luck that I'm having currently? I had no kibasi, no sauerkraut,
Oh my goodness.
my cabbage. I didn't have any of it. I don't think it would count if I had it now.
That's not
I,
what.
I do the whole, I do the whole black eyed peas, and I have the cabbage and the salt pork, and Southern Fairy Tale. That's a blog. She has a great recipe for basically Hoppin' John.
I don't know what that is.
And it's
Is
great.
that black eyed peas?
Yes, black
Okay, I'm
eyed
like, I don't know
peas.
what that is.
Anyways,
I eat black eyed peas. I don't make them on New Year's.
I reverted, or well, she converted me from doing like sauerkraut and kibasi or pork, or ribs or whatever, pork chops. She converted me with that recipe to making, Amanda,
I know, I'm looking at it.
you're
Something
starting to say
about
something about Tony reminding you.
something or to that effect earlier.
We're going to need more clues, Amanda. Um,
Yeah, I'll have to look back. I don't even know.
but she converted me with that recipe. So after that, I just started making this Hoppin' John, and it was great while I was in Ohio because I always had somebody else to eat it with me, because
Yeah.
Cody's best friend, my first son that is not my son, he would eat it too. So, and I've never had terrible luck or quote unquote bad things until this freaking year, Heather. Even COVID. I take that back. I don't think I had any in 2021 either. I might have gone to my mom's, and that wasn't 2021 wasn't so great.
Did you?
So
Yeah, you did go. Because I was trying to think what you did. Because I invited you over and you weren't sure what you were doing. Because that's when I was on mainland and you were on
I
mainland.
was also,
You were also
yeah.
there.
That meal is the best, Amanda. I don't care what anybody says. If I get to Ohio and it's New Year's, we'll make it. We'll eat it. It'll be awesome. Heather will look at it in disgust.
What, the Hoppin' Johns?
Yeah.
I like black eyed peas. My husband
Oh,
doesn't like. I know how to make them. I just don't make them a lot because my husband doesn't like a lot of beans.
Well, I mean, I got
I
the
would eat more of
cabbage in
them.
there. I got the cabbage in there. I got the salt pork and the bacon, the crumbled bacon, the good bits.
We had chili.
There's
That's what we had for New
no
Year's.
sauerkraut.
And we had
There's
a
no
big pot of
sauerkraut.
chili. And the chili had pork sausage in it, but I didn't really care. I just like I don't know.
Oh, well, then there you go. You're kind of covered.
I don't care.
You know
All right.
what? That's the only thing I get superstitious. That's the only thing. And the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree and my New Year's
I have
tradition
enough
are that's it.
I have enough crazy quirky rules all on my own. I don't need to add in other things from other people or whatever.
But I
Like
love that you remember mine.
I do. Like
Because
I'm like I
one day I might need you to tell me what they are.
okay, well, I will.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about stitching the weather together now because we've already
Yes.
been going for 45 minutes and not that like I like we're live, so it's nice and we're already on YouTube. So this saves me so much more time later on. So that's not,
Oh my gosh. This is
but
fantastic.
I know I'm super excited. So this is not my I want to preface this by saying this is not my weather blanket that I'm showing you. This is what it's going to look like
Okay.
because I'm using my
I was clapping for you, Amanda. That was me clapping for you. Heather, I think, just totally skipped over it because
I can't. It's down there, so I was no why was
oh,
like, why are
see,
you
I have
clapping
it
for
along the
this?
side.
She's
Oh,
very.
you're on your
Oh,
phone. That's why.
I'm on my phone because my phone has a better camera and better audio. I don't like
Right.
when I'm. So this is the front. So here we go. So this is the squares that I've been putting together. So I'm basically going to be making an around the world quilt.
So here's my question.
Yes.
If I'm correct, that first square in your left hand. The only
Mm-hmm.
reason I know it's your left hand is because your wedding ring's on that hand. Um, that would be considered January 1st, right?
No. The first square is going to be January, and then you'd have January 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But
Oh,
this is not the weather
oh, I'm being
blanket.
dumb.
What?
I was like, that's not how I'm doing. I was literally starting with January 1st.
Well,
But
because
I
remember we're having the
remember
month, we're separating the months out. That's why you need those extra squares. You can't start with January 1st. I'm glad we're having this conversation right now.
I'm glad we're having this conversation right now
Yeah.
too.
So the first square is going to be January because that's where January starts. And then
Okay.
so you go January 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you get the 31st, and then your next square would be February 1st. And then you'd start because that's how mine is going. So mine's going to go like this. Now this is when I started doing the squares, I thought this was going to be a wearable, like maybe a cowl or something like that. Fun. She says no, she's laughing. Yeah. That was like when I was here and here and here. So
It sounded good on paper, didn't it?
not all the ideas are winners. So, but then I decided, so I am a 45-year-old woman that 45 and a half, actually, almost 46-year-old woman. 46? Yeah, 46. I'll be 47 this year.
Let's
Wow.
move along on the birthdays, shall we?
What?
Let's move it along on the birthdays, shall we?
Oh my
Because mine
gosh.
is
I could be
yours.
50. I don't care how old I am. I think that's also why I'm like, it doesn't bother me. It bothers my sister. Maybe if I didn't have an Irish twin that it bothered badly, I would, but but I'm a sick individual that gets joy from flustering my sister when she wishes me a happy birthday. And I'd like to remind her that she's already been that old for that many months. And then she flips me off. It's a love. So anyways, I have a blanket that I have had since I was 10 years old. That was also like my second blanket. And it's not even out here because it goes in my room. I don't like anybody to touch it. I really don't even like anybody to look in its general direction. Like, it's my blanket and I carry it around. I have it with me at nighttime. I sleep with it every night. It's not like Blake, but it's old and it's becoming very threadbare. And now I say a little prayer every time I put it into the washer. And then it's like
Yes.
twin sized. And then but now just it's sitting on me like my it'll like all of a sudden you'll feel it like just fall like onto my foot more because it's going threadbare. So just the weight of the thread on my foot, gravity eventually just drops it through. So it's rapidly falling apart.
Oh
So I
no.
decided that this is going to be my new blanket
Nice.
because I don't need anything super thick or warm. And these are all wool squares of things that I've used. So this is a mini that I had from Superfine Young Company. These blue squares here, and then like this green square here, that's stuff from the one yarn place that we went to, like when we went to Worcester to the fiber.
Oh yeah, her yarn
So
shop.
I was gonna
Good.
make I was gonna make a shawl out of it, but like every time I've made something with it, I don't really like it. So I think this is awesome because it'll be great for squares. I think it'll be
Yes.
fun. This pink is also, this one's from the Lonely Knitter in the
Okay.
UK. There's more of the corner one. And then like this piece here. So like all those shawls that I'm ripping apart and all the whips that I have out of fingering weight yarn that I'm not going to finish, they're all going into this blanket.
So I have a dumb question.
Yes.
In all the colors that we picked out, did we happen to pick out the color that would, did we happen to pick out the color that would represent each month? Or is
No,
that, I
that's
get
up
to
to
pick
you.
that out?
Yeah, you get to pick that. So mine is from the Lonely Knitter, and it is, did I bring it over here?
Hmm.
I showed it in the last podcast, and I think,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
so mine is just, it was going to be my Christmas Eve cast on, but I thought it was a nice, oh, here it is right behind me. So this is going to be mine.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is because it's got a lot of nice fun colors that are going to be in it, and it's going to be a little variegated kind of thing. So yes. So I picked mine out. So you could pick something out from your stash, something that you like. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be something different than all the other things so that you
Or
can,
somebody can send me some.
yes, or if
Hint,
somebody
hint,
wants to
nudge,
send
nudge.
her some yarn.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I think I would like with mine? Actually, I'm gonna see if I have any of this in my stash. I'm sure I don't. So I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm gonna get it from. But I would like something that's kind of like a white base or an off-white, but
Mhm.
with more like rainbow colors or like birthday cake colors. You know what I mean?
Like, well, you know, this, I'm thinking like, even like the speckly, like this is my,
Yes.
so this is my, because that's actually, I was going to work on it today while we were talking. And so I actually will pop it out just to show you since I did grab that up. Because you have not seen it since I've picked it back up again.
I have not. Oh, damn it.
I'm catching up.
Yeah, that's bad.
So I'm
I
almost
mean, it's
halfway through.
beautiful, but
In
that's
another
bad.
about 10 rows, I'll be halfway through this. So my goal, I have started my rotation that we have talked about in a couple episodes. So I have like a whip that has been languishing. So I've been going through all my whips, frog it or finish it. This one
Oh, I
was a finisher.
forgot about that. I wanted to actually kind of do that with you. Okay, go
So
ahead.
this is just my basket that's out. I work on it. If I work like I'm for this, it's nice because I try to get a stripe in at a time. And I don't know what
Mhm.
happened between this year and last time I picked it up, but it is like I didn't have any issues with adding the extra stuff. It's just this time. It's good for it now. It's a good
Yeah,
time to, and I can't wait for this to be done. I'm so excited. I mean, it would work with the shirt I'm wearing right now. This is like just this is just so me.
I love it. That looks amazing.
And I love the backside too. The backside looks really
And
nice too.
that is from the Hibernate Along
Yes, it's when we started this one in 2020, right?
2021 because I started it when we were in Ohio.
That's right, because we went to this. I arranged my because we got this is Madeline Tosh. We got this at River Color Studio because you
Yes.
got some of your stuff there. Then I took you to Ben Franklin. If
Yep.
Lisa for you would be an open, I would have taken you there. But next time you in Ohio, I'm gonna be taking you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and these are all my minis from the super fine yarn company advent calendar. And it wasn't like they came like this. I actually had to dig through and pick them all out. And Nichole was with me that day because she actually had to wind some of them up for me because things weren't. So Nichole wound this one for me
Mhm.
and this one for me. Any of the
They're
balls,
very
because
pretty. That's some expert winding right
it
there.
really is. I mean,
Mhm.
so and this fade, now that I've had it, like, isn't this fade like just perfect how it just goes right back into each other?
I love it. That is going to be amazing. Amanda's going to need to have another photo shoot. You're going to have to have a photo shoot.
She's gonna
Amanda's
take
going
some
to have to
pictures
take
of
some
me.
more pictures. Huh?
And then I have another friend on the island that's also going to take pictures of me. He does really good like scene photography and stuff. Not that Amanda doesn't too, but I like different people see things different ways, you know. So I'm going to
Yeah.
have some because people have really inquired a lot about my knitting and walking and crocheting and walking, and so I'm going to have some pictures and talk about that and how I learned how to knit and walk. So
I can't even knit and watch TV at the same time. I gotta like focus on one a little bit more than the other.
you just need like some really good mindless knits for stuff that you don't. But exactly, just mindless knits so you can
I
like
fixed it, by the way.
what?
I fixed the drop.
Yay. Like, because
On
Elizabeth Zimmerman, so she, when because I have like several of her books that I bought some, and then Alexis got me some for Christmas the one year. And
yeah.
so she talked about like knitting and not watching while you were knitting. And she said, just close your eyes and make a stitch, just one stitch, and open your eyes. Did it work out? Close your eyes again. Now that's not how I did it, but it was kind of like, so that's how you like kind of get that confidence, is that you know the muscle memory. But my biggest problem that I had to overcome is I was really bad about going into the stitch below, like if I wasn't
No.
watching. So I've changed how I hold my stuff, and now it's not so bad. So I do have the list of colors
Yeah.
so that we are going to use. I did put one, so we are using Knit Pick Stole, which is a fingering weight, which is like 25 or it's like 75% superwash and 25% nylon, correct? Or something like that,
I
or like
think
80-20,
so.
something like that. So it's going to be washable. You're going to like obviously not want to like, you know, high heat and everything like that, but it'll be washable if you need it to. But it's going to be wool, and wool's anytime you don't have to wash wool as often as you would like some other things. And
Wash it on delicate, hang it to dry, or lay it flat.
you can actually tumble dry low. Like most all my socks that I make that are like super wash, merino thing, I wash them in the washing machine on a light cycle, and I tumble dry on low. Sometimes on medium, because some of them get stretchy, like some of my earlier socks, because my foot is so long that my foot is so long that like they go by your length of your foot, some of these things, and like my foot is very narrow around, like, and they're like, oh no, you still want to make the bigger size. No, I don't want to make the bigger size. So sometimes I would listen, and before I knew better. So when we first did it, we were going to do the blanket and worsted weight before, and then I realized that the square pattern that Nichole had was also made out of fingering weight, so I wasn't having to fix anything for us, because Nichole is doing it's the pattern I'm using is from Cozy Cottage Crochet, and it's called the Crochet Memories blanket, and she
Yeah.
is doing the
I have
Cozy Memories blanket that's knit. We're gonna have those links below when we after the show we'll add links and all that kind of stuff.
I
So
had it with me.
so
I brought it in here with me. I don't
our
know where it
squares
went.
are 3 inches
Oh,
each.
there it
Like that's
is.
how I base mine. This calls for a little bit bigger square. And then if you are going to make squares, I will also pull this up. You can buy the pattern from the Cozy Cottage Crochet, the Crochet Memories blanket. It's $1. Or there's the Cozy Memories blanket that's knit, that's on Instagram. And like I said, I'll link it below. I don't remember. I don't think that one's either. I think it's free on her
Mine
website.
is Mine is called Memory Blanket. It's just called Memory Blanket,
Okay.
making a modular mitered square blanket. It says a knitting pattern by Georgie Nicholson. That is both on Ravelry and it's in my library, but it is also on this person, her website. Dang it, where is her freaking
Well, don't worry about that. We'll just link below. It's not a big deal. I don't take
Tiki?
that.
Tiki.
What?
Tiki. Tikki. I believe it's Tiki Knits.
All
Or
right.
it's
Well,
Tiki. Well, I mean Nikki. Tiki. I
whatever.
don't know.
There you go. Well, like I said, we'll have those links below for you sometime here soon. But if you are going to make a blanket with us and you're planning on doing the squares, because there's lots of things, and you don't actually have to do a blanket. If you're
No.
doing any temperature project, we would love to have you join us and use the hashtag stitching the weather together.
Mm-hmm. You can do
And
embroidery, cross stitch.
anything, any kind of project that you're doing and it doesn't have to be from 2023. It could be for any year. Like you want to do the year that you're born. You want to do anything
I
like
really
that.
like that idea. I kind of want to go back and do all the kids' years now.
I know for the grandbabies, I think I want to start for like their graduation presents. They're going to like one of the blankets they're going to get at their graduation is going to be like the year that they were born.
I like that idea.
So, because like you can go back, we can also link to the websites that we use to get historical stuff for the weather. So you will need 378 squares if you're going to do what we're doing. You're going to need, so you're going to have 365 days, and then you're going to have the key, or one for each month, the placeholder, and then the key, which was amazing. So you'll stitch stripes into your square as like, so with the weather lines, because we have 11 colors, so there'll be 11 rows of your different colors, so you can see what it is to follow it from warmest to darkest. And that's going to be your last corner on your blanket. So that'll be, you'll have January 1, and then so that way you'll know how it's facing the right way, however you do it. January 1 will be down there, and then that'll be up there.
Right.
So so we picked out worsted colors originally. Obviously I don't expect you to read this from here. We'll list those below and put those on the website. But if you don't want to use, if you would like to use the same colors we're using, we have worsted colors and fingering colors. So you can it's just kind of fun to see at a glance what, our weather, how different our weather is, especially when we're using.
I think worsted would be awesome. I think seeing a worsted version would be awesome, honestly. And it's going to be heavier. So if you are a freeze baby like me, then
layers of stuff.
Huh?
There's layers.
Yes,
of
I know.
You have a lot of blankets in your bed.
I have a lot of blankets in my house.
You do. All right, let's see
I
here.
do. And I don't want to get rid of them. I mean, I don't care if they're falling apart. They're as long as they can keep you somewhat warm on a part of your body, it works for me. So I want to
go ahead. I'm listening.
In regard to stitching the weather together, I want to show you. You got a glimpse of this the other night. I love my passion planner, and I mean, I did have, oh my gosh, what did I do with it? I think I threw it away now, but I had basically a dot grid, basically calendar for the entire year, whereas like January, February, and it was so tiny. It was a pain in the butt. And I was like, I'm going to hate this. And I was like, how can I do this? How can I keep track of the weather, have it look neat and not like a hot mess? So I was fussing around, and Passion Planner had posted something about their year at a glance, free download. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Free.
That's what I love about the Passion Planner website. You don't even have to buy anything from them. Like if you read their mission, they are all about like, they just want to get planning, no matter what your economic status is. They want to get planning into your hands. So there's so many free resources on their site you can print up.
I mean, you can print off a whole month or the whole year if you just want to try it before you buy it. Now, I knew this was going to work out better for me probably than other planners that I've used in the past. But anyways, so what I did was, how some people take those sheets in the front of their planners where they have, each month, like January, February, March, but then they have like the day, the day of the week. Yeah. Well, I basically took that.
Nice.
And I took those sheets. Let's see, January starts here. Here are my numbers. You can see I forgot to write down numbers after a certain point. Don't worry, I'll go back and I'll grab them. But I did that the whole way through. So I have basically January through June, and then I have June through December.
I like it.
Yeah.
Then you can go back in and you can, because neither one of us, full disclosure, have our yarn.
No, we don't.
I did figure out all the stuff. Now I did, because depending on where you live and how your weather is, you may only need one skein of a yarn. So last night, For each thing, yeah. So
for each month?
because it takes for me, my squares weigh about 3 grams when they're all
Mhm.
done. So you get 50 grams. So you know you're getting
231 yards.
yeah. Well, I mean, like if it's 3 grams and you're getting 50 grams of yarn, that's you're gonna get like almost 20 squares out of each, not quite 20 because that would be 60 grams. So, but you're getting like 25 squares out of, each, I
Right.
think 350. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So, but I put every one of the fingering ones in our cart right now. And right now, any white yarn, pink yarn, or red yarn on knitpicks.com is on sale.
oh, because
That's why
February.
some of them are on sale. I was concerned some of them were going to be discontinued, but no, it's just any red, pink, or white yarn in the celebration of Valentine's Day, I believe, coming up. Show yourself some yarny love, I think is what they were saying in the email. That those are on sale right now. I don't remember. I think the stole is normally $5.99 a ball, and right now it's $5.39 for some of the colors.
Probably like 10
So
to 15% off.
yeah. So, and full disclosure, the links that we're putting below when we get all done are affiliate links for Nichole and I through KnitPicks. You'll see which this one's for Nichole, this one's for Heather. You don't have to use them at all. You don't have to buy yarn for the temperature blanket. If you buy anything from KnitPicks and you use our links, we will
Yeah.
earn commission
Pennies.
on pennies. I mean, really, it's not. Um, all it does is tempt us to buy more things. I know that when my Jimmy Bean's wool thing expired, my point, and I was like, oh, I did get my needles. Like I got $3 off my needles, $3.85 off. But it was just like so funny. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I have to use it.
Yeah. I did that last year and I was like, oh, I had points. And Jimmy Bean's wool will literally award anybody who, if somebody orders through,
Yeah, you just put their name.
yeah, you just put their name or their email address. So if they send you the email and you use their email address to place your order, that
Yeah.
person gets points. It's passing the love is what it is.
I'm sorry. I'm looking around for my. I was going to
She's
tell you my D20 sock, but I have no idea where it is right now. That's only slightly concerning because I have to finish it before tomorrow.
And the passion planner, I will have a link for that. We'll have a link for my passion planner because I am an ambassador.
I'm getting up while you're talking about that. Talk.
So we'll have that link, and if you want to go and download, it's the Year at a Glance. It's a free PDF download. You will need to make an account. You'll basically need to give them your email address so that they can send you the download. And then all you do is once that email comes, click, takes you right to the download, takes you right to the PDF version. You don't have to go back through the site, any of that stuff. And yeah, I could totally be telling you that, just buy the planners, but I get nothing on the PDFs. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I think and then if you like it, then that's awesome. And there's a lot of different groups, and it's a very involved community. I like it, and I'm not even as active as I could be. I'm kind of dipping my toe into the planner waters.
Yeah. And I mean, but if you do want to buy something like stickers or anything else, they have crafting stickers now. If you do want to buy any of those things, you'll also have a code to get 10% off your order. So, and yes, you can combine that with any sale they have going on.
Very cool. So yes, so we'll have all those links below. But please know that any links that we post, I mean, we fully disclose, but sometimes we are going to reap some benefits off of it. We also will have Ko-Fi coming very soon too, if you'd like to help support us in that way. We're working on getting that finished up.
Yeah.
It's in my court right now because I had a 2-week-long migraine where it was a cluster headache and migraine, and I didn't do much knitting. I just really I was having a hard time.
Yeah. So it's fine. And we're also going to set up Ko-Fis for our each individual brands. I'm not sure yet how I want to use mine. Well, if somebody just wants to buy me chocolate, that's fine. But yeah, if you read a blog post, you really like it, tip me.
Or just share the post. That's the most important thing is sharing the information, because without an audience, we really are Nothing. We're just
Talking to ourselves.
video chatting. But we were okay. We're okay with that. Like, we're like, oh, we're going to chat anyways. We might as well just, like,
We
there's
don't.
so many times that we're video chatting and Nicole's like, we should record this. We totally should record this.
Why aren't we recording this right now, Heather? And Heather's like, I don't know. We got to save it for the podcast, and then it's never there.
It's never
Half
there.
of it's gone.
It's gone.
It's not. It's not the same. But
All right.
what do you got?
So this is so every Friday I play Dungeons and Dragons. My husband is the dungeon master, and I play a halfling named Aquafina. If you follow me on
I have a dungeon
Instagram,
master in training at my house.
nice. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am, and you watch this particular reel, I am doing a D20 sock. M to the third, she has got an amazing podcast. And she actually on Instagram, she did this thing where she had all this sock yarn and she wanted to use it and she was getting kind of bored with doing it. So she decided to grab a D20. So it's a 20-sided die. And she rolled. So she labeled each yarn from 1 to 20. She rolled the yarn. She rolled the die to pick out what yarn. And then she rolled the die again for how many rounds that she needed to do it. Now, I like making sock tubes. And so when I say I only work on this during D&D night, that's the only time I get input for this. But I like to have the last roll finished up before we start the next session. So we are 2 sessions in. And so for the first session, and I put a little stitch marker in, it's like right there. So you can see where each session ends. So this is the first roll, the second roll, the third roll. And then the next session we had first roll, second roll, third roll, fourth roll. So I have to finish this one because this is right at the end of the night. So,
Nice.
So what I did was I grabbed all of like my partial skeins, or not all, but some of my partial skeins, all of like the advents that I didn't have plans for, and I put them into a Walmart bag. And and then I put on the floor Post-it notes for 1 through 20. Now mine were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I'll cut them up because they're not all wound. Like some of them are still minis that came on their mini thing as we're working our way through. So there's gonna be more striping added as I get the stuff wound up, but so far we haven't had any duplicates. And so as we're playing along, when we first get there, I say, okay, somebody roll, and they'll roll, and then okay, roll again. And so sometimes like our cleric in the group, he leveled up, so I let him roll for this one. And it's kind of neat because both sessions ending the first 2 weeks. This is passionate yarns and it's sparkle. This is also a passionate yarn and it sparkles. These little minis I got for my birthday yarn. And this one's kind of cool because if you flip it over, it looks totally different on the other side.
I like that.
So I'm going to make it one long tube to fit my foot. I actually have a pair of socks that I really like how they fit my feet. So I need to measure them because I'm going to insert heels, toes, and cuffs when I'm all done. So when I get done with the sock tube, when it gets to the preferred length that I want, I'm going to grab some skeins that'll be enough for heels, toes, and cuffs for that pair of socks. And I'm going to put those out and we're going to roll for heels, toes, and cuffs as well, like for one. So that's how they're going to coordinate because they're not going to be the same. They're going to be randomly striped socks. But it's cool because in my notes, if anybody is a D&D player, they'll know. But in my notes, you have your notebook and you keep notes and stuff like that. So I'm notating like what I'm doing. Like in this one right here, I totally killed a bugbear. Like he knocked me. He took over half of my life. And so I fiercely rolled or attacked back with Edwin, and I rolled a 17, and then I hit him for like 9 damage. So boom, he was gone. He was gone. It was great. It was awesome.
I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but it's
somebody
fun.
out there will. And I'm going to tell you that my D&D group is super excited. Like they're like, oh, we can like embroider stuff in. And then what's funner is all the orts that I'm cutting. I'm winding all the stuff up. So you're taking little snippets. They're called orts, the little bits of stuff when you're all done. So I got a clear ornament. So when it's all said and done, I'm going to put a little thing on here, like what session it was, because we do our D&D sessions in the wintertime.
Is that a round, like fully circular? Because it looks like
it's flat.
Oh, good. It's not my eyes.
No, you're not going blind. I got these. I like to shove those lights inside of them, and so I was selling them.
Yes.
So I was selling them at the craft bazaar
on the website, aren't we?
What's that?
We're still waiting for that tutorial or that pattern on the website.
Yes. Heather has great ideas, and Heather's working her way through them all. I'm talking to myself third person again.
You might need a third person to defend you right now.
The problem, it's not even a problem. I'm learning work-life balance. I'm getting better with work-life balance. Full-time does not mean all of the time, which is what my brain has said. My boss and my coworker are very excited for me to do things and to help support me in my journeys and to have me still do my office stuff and everything.
They're your cheerleading section.
They are really my biggest cheerleaders, my husband and you. And, this past week I taught that crochet class at the library. In the last 2 years, the library manager has been after me to teach a class. I think since I published my first pattern. So that may be 3 years. So Overlapping Life is going to be 3 this year. So on my Instagram feed, there's actually that picture Nichole and I were talking about earlier. And in my class, it was 2 weeks. We did 2 different weeks. The first week, they got a half a skein of Lion Brand Thick and Quick and a size N hook. And they learned how to chain stitch so that they could make the one stitch wonder. And
right.
So, because this pattern, like Nichole Snow has a chain and she does not crochet. She is not a crocheter. So, so this is the one stitch wonder. I'll take off I love this thing. It's that's another soon to be design. So this
if I wanted to egg Heather on with the crocheting, I could even make this.
Yes, anyone can make this. So I think that if you're going to take a class, what's really discouraging is sometimes when you take a class, it's not anything like it's all sorts of different things and you don't actually come home with anything. So This was nice. So we started off with the One Stitch Wonder, which is free on my website. Go check it out. One Stitch Wonder, Heather Spins the Yarn. You chain. This is a full skein of Lion Brand.
Chain.
I know, right? Chain. And then for week two, they each, my ripping stitches out. I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter if I rip the stitches out because this was I kept ripping them out. They were all, so for week 2, what we did was we wound this up into a ball so we could get to it later. And as everyone was getting there, they picked out a skein of crochet cotton actually it's not crochet cotton. It's just peaches and cream, stripy. Yeah. And they got a smaller hook because the first hook they got was a size N. So that's like bigger than your thumb. And then the second hook they got was like smaller than your pinky to deal with worsted weight yarn. Cotton is not fun to deal with, but you can see your stitches really easy in it. So we then chained dishcloth. So we were learning single crochet, half double crochet. So you chained and then like they're ripping back. Like, you remember you chain that we talked about that, the consistency. And so they were pretty excited. So when everyone was really good and frustrated with their project, with their yarn project, then we stopped and we put together their completed object. So everyone left with their scarf wrapped around their neck, their little cowl. So, So then they were excited to get back to this because like, oh, look what I did. It's, So I'm going to have a full tutorial coming soon on the Heather Spins the Yarn channel with how to make it, how to style it.
This channel.
On this channel. Well, yeah, but I'm moving this also over to
Heather. That's right. I forgot.
So yeah. So on this channel or on Heather Spins the Yarn if you're on Stitching Miles Together channel. So it's going to be like how to style it, how to do everything. So this is just going to be like a nice little crochet dishcloth when they get done, or washcloth or whatever they do with it, because I don't wash my dishes with my crochet or knit washcloths. I use them in the shower, but I just think I don't know. I use sponges and scrubbies when I hand wash stuff because I just, I don't, that's just gross. I'm just going to throw that away.
I mean, the washcloths, they're all wet. They get heavy and it just doesn't.
Well, and they smell and you disinfect them. And there's just, this is the store manager and food safety manager and me like, freaking out. That's why we don't use washcloths, like, except for in the shower, one time use kind of thing. Like I remember. Yeah, I've been to some houses where it's like, I'm pretty sure that washcloth could walk itself to the laundry room. Could we show it the way? Could we please show it the way?
You're talking about my teenager right now?
No, I'm talking about other places. I don't recall ever looking at the washcloths in your sink.
No, I mean, we're talking about the teenager.
Oh, just the teenager show the way?
We could walk him to the laundry room sometime.
All right. So let's see here. You know, and next week or next week, not next week, next time. Oh God, not next week. Next time, which should be in about 2 weeks. I may be coming from you from a surprise location, which is definitely going to be on the mainland, but I'm excited for where I may be coming from you from. I have to work out the details because we have a planning meeting this weekend to figure out, as long as I'm not gone for baby, we have a
Oh, yeah,
planning
we do.
because we to decide when our episodes, like, because our next, so we should be live, but we're not positive if it's going to be on February 9th or February 12th. I think the 9th, I think is where I'm leaning to if everything's set up and good with baby at home. So,
Mhm.
but so we will have that for you very soon.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yes, yes. Yes, Nichole.
Can we meet the baby?
I'll have to ask mom and
Okay,
dad, but
that's
we could
fair.
probably meet the baby.
Okay.
Um, and
Oh, I keep
we
falling over in my chair.
that's not good.
Well, I'm
Um,
just tipping back and forgetting how far back I can go without falling on my head.
And getting back to the stitching, like the weather projects, like you can use
Yes,
different colors. There's someone right now that's doing a monochrome temperature blanket. So she is changing,
that's
she's using the
wild.
same yarn, but she's changing up her stitch and her blocks and her different rows. Like, so isn't that neat?
Yes.
I kind of want to do that one. That might be next year's one, is just me doing different squares, like,
The library
coming up.
has the library, I know our library has an amazing book on knitted squares. I
Knitted
need to
squares.
add it to my own library. Like to see if our bookstore has it.
All right. So you can find us as Stitching the Miles Together on Instagram. You can find us as Stitching the Miles Together on YouTube. We are working on the website right now, which is going to be going live soon. We'll be very excited and share that with you then. Um,
Facebook,
Facebook, we are also Stitching the Miles Together, but you're just going to be talking to Nichole.
Ravelry, you can talk to us
Yes,
both
in the
on
Ravelry group.
Ravelry.
We just started the Ravelry group, where we're going to also post links, and we have a Stitching the Weather Together folder, or we will have a
Yeah,
Stitching the Weather. I think we already have one. I think
I
Nicole's real
think
good. She
I
was on
think
that.
you made it.
Maybe I did. I don't remember. You made the page, so I don't know. It's all blending together. We're like one unit so far apart.
I know. I
So,
looked at something the other day and I was like, did I do that?
well, we
Did
also
Heather
talk to.
do that?
Yeah, we have really good communication because Heather's letting things go and not trying to be crazy. That's also helping her to find herself.
And Nikki is 4 hours behind Heather. So what I say the day before, it might be completely different by the time I wake up
Yeah.
in the afternoon where Heather is. So it happens, which is why we're doing the Stitching the Weather Together blanket.
Yes. And like I said, we're doing the blanket, but if you guys would like to join us for anything, we are, if you use the hashtag, we are going to check it out before we go live next time. So
Mhm.
we'll share some photos of some of the projects that we like, or just, projects. I think the first part is probably just going to be all the projects. So if you use that hashtag, we're prepared to have it go live. And so, yeah, so make sure you subscribe, and you follow us wherever we are, and join that Ravelry group if Ravelry is accessible to you. We, like I said, as we're going into 2023, we made grand plans, and I'm very excited to watch them kind of come into fruition.
It was
Um,
like Heather had 5 cups of coffee when we started talking about all this. And then she was like, I've only had my regular 2 cups today. I want you to know that.
yeah. Well, when
And
Heather is
I
well
was,
rested and not on the verge of a breakdown, she's actually pretty peppy and with it.
yeah, that was me on Monday. At this point, I'm like, bleh. So yeah, you can find us all the channels. If you're not sure, we'll have the links to all of the places down below, and we will also and you can always just comment and say, hey, your link is broken. We'll fix it. It'll be
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, this has been fun. I'm excited that we are live.
oh my God,
This
we've
has
gone
been
way
amazing.
over.
And then, like I said, we aren't going live from the Stitching the Miles Together channel itself because YouTube said that they won't let us go live from that one until tomorrow. So, so next time.
But
Yes.
after tomorrow, the next show that we do should be live on Stitching the Miles Together YouTube page,
Yeah,
correct?
correct.
Yeah. So this is, yeah.
And if I have access
So
to Facebook again, possibly there too.
you know what? Zuckerberg can eat my, I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
promised
Well,
I
it has
wouldn't
been
start.
a really long hour and 24 minutes, but really short all at the same time. We're
Yes.
so happy that you joined us today. You can, like I said, you can find us everywhere, Stitching the Miles Together. And you can find me as Heather Spins a Yarn, and you can find Nichole.
I know it all, Nikki.
All right.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. All right. Happy stitching, and let us know what you're up to.
Yes.
Bye.